Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. I am somehow getting sicker, so I'm probably pretty hard to understand. Sorry. Wanted to hop on here and do a little pre-market analysis. We do open in 2 minutes, so I'll have to be quick here, but if we hop out to the daily, NQ still has not hit that new week opening gap, whereas ES has. It has come into this daily fair value gap from the 27th candle, but it has not come in to tap this new week opening gap. I would assume that's a pretty powerful draw on liquidity, so I think that's going to influence my bias pretty much. So I think I'm expecting higher prices here. Now, once we get into that area, it's anybody's guess after that if we reject off or continue through. So that'll depend on the fundamental drivers and how powerful they are. And speaking of, we had FOMC yesterday. This morning we had our GDP. This is just GDP quarter over quarter advance. This is the advanced outlook, and came in a little bit under expectations. It looks like initial jobless claims came a little bit under. We've got more earnings this week, PCE prices. No, price advance. Never mind. In line. Continued jobless claims a little bit under. So, nothing hopping off the page, I wouldn't say. So we'll see what the market gives us today. We're gonna play it cautiously as is typical for me, and see what happens. We are cleared to trade here, 12 minutes after the open, but so far big nothing burger. If we look in the 5 minute, it's just binary, sideways, piano, sticks, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty ugly so far. Yeah, showing a little more movement, but keeping in mind we have an SMT off the top with ES and NQ. NQ having taken its prior day high and ES having not, so that could potentially be important if it holds. I don't expect it to. I would like to see ES run up and grab that high today, this morning here in the next hour, but we'll see. We'll see what the macro gives us here in about 7 minutes. Well, there's our run higher, just as predicted. ES and NQ have both taken out London now. ES firmly headed for the PDH, but I mean, there's really not been anything to do here as far as entries. It really sucks. It's hard. It's hard when you call it perfectly. The analysis is spot on, and yet you don't really get an opportunity to participate. But it is a part of trading, something you just have to be okay with. There's really no option for it. So so for NQ, my target is this new week opening gap, and then for ES, it's that prior day high, and we're just about there on both. So we'll see if we can get a chance to participate somehow on, I don't know, either one. Both are strong. We'll have to be aware of any SMTs. This definitely seems like a buy the pullback move. Just given the strength, I mean, it's a pretty big run. Right in the macro time frame, just kind of like what we said. That's why those macros are so important. I don't really know much risk to put on if I 726 to 709, it's 15 points. Definitely need a retracement. I'm not just gonna long high day. This is also an area for some tomfoolery as well. The market likes to push it right up to its objective and then either chop around or do a final sort of shakeout pullback where it kind of pulls back further than you'd expect. So keeping all that in mind. That's why we don't long high a day. We wait for a retracement of some sort.
Order filled.
I'm going to hop in on the first gap here just as a pretty aggressive entry. It is a 15-point stop. Pretty tight, but could wait for confirmation out of this. And it does look like I'm going to get stopped out here.
Order filled.
Yep. Stopped out on the first trade. Just have to see what happens next here. Could wait for the 5-minute to form. In a minute, that's probably the move here. See about the retracement, see what I'm saying? That's pretty wild. So pretty much anywhere I would have had my stop, I would have gotten smoked on this. Does look like ES is holding up a little bit better, perhaps. Maybe worth noting. 30 seconds to the 5-minute close. Hmm. I don't know if it wants to hit this gap or not. It's a fair bit lower. I'd certainly prefer it, but yeah, starting to head off higher, it looks like. Yeah, it's about to hit its PDH. Oh, that's ridiculous, man. Gotta be careful of SMTs here. Wow, what was that? Alright, we may get our 5-minute gap tap after all. Let's pay attention here. Come on. Won't be like that. Come on. Wow. There we go, come on. Alright, there it is. It's a 5-minute tap on both. So we can play now. And we've got a pretty good gap that we can work with right here, it looks like. 37 seconds. Hopefully it holds. Oh, hold on, sorry guys, right there. This is what I'm talking about. Ooh, what a retrace. What a retrace. You see what I'm talking about? How you have to be careful. So ES is holding up quite a bit better here. I think we're going to end up wanting to take on that if we get an opportunity. Probably have to have this gap hold to make the RR worth it. This is not, I mean, that's probably not worth it right there. Wow. Yep. Just gotta be patient, but this is pretty gnarly price action to, I mean, it's probably wrecked everybody, I would imagine. Everybody aiming for the PDH on ES, and then the new week opening gap on NQ. I mean, at this rate, I think we're going to be looking at for a 5-minute inversion. This is such a deep retrace. Kind of need some more confirmation that it's headed back up to the upside than just a 1 minute, but we'll see. But if we can time this reversal right, back up to the upside, that's going to be a pretty good trade. Because at this point, I mean, we're 120 points from the objective, so I'm pretty confident in the objective. Missed it by 20-ish points or so from the top. So I'm probably not bearish until this 1 hour. This 1 hour inverses on NQ. That'll probably be my cue to start looking at flipping bias. But for now, I mean, I think INWOG plays. So on the 1 minute now, golly, this is heavy. That's crazy. That is nuts. Yeah, I mean, I just can't flip my bias yet, but it sure looks like it's headed for London low, Asia low. Not really sure how you would have participated in this. We have not inversed a 5 minute just yet. We're about to in 2 minutes, but wow, that is wild. Absolutely wild. There goes London. Oh. Well, I'm glad I'm only down $100. Probably take that trade again. Most times, I mean, it looked pretty clear to me. So no regrets there. I mean, it wasn't perfectly my model or anything, but it was a good trade. Clear objective, clear draw. So, all right, now we are 200 points or so, 190. 200 points from the bottom, back up to the top side objective, which is looking less and less likely, if I'm being honest. Yeah, we are inversing that gap, but we still have 55 minutes on the close, so wow. That is pretty crazy. So now the question is this a 200-point manipulation, or is this are we just preparing for continued downside? It looks like continued downside at this point. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, holding up a little bit better here. I really like this 5-minute gap on ES. Hope it holds. All right, I'm gonna run to the restroom, get some more go juice, and then be right back.
The data feed lags? I don't know. Not that I've noticed. Sometimes it can be a little jumpy on Top Step X. I've noticed. I'm watching the 5-minute chart above here on my other monitor. Potentially about to leave a 5-minute gap above this high. If we don't tap into it, we could leave a breakaway there. Obviously slowing up a lot here, though, at current new day opening gap, 50% of the opening range gap. That's why I'm just sitting here waiting. If we can get through this, I think we could go all the way to 367, and then I'd like to try to play that. But just not wanting to jump the gun here too early and then have us reverse all the way back into this range. All right, so 5-minute gap. Trading above this high is the 5-minute gap. See if we tap it or we leave it open. But yeah, crazy little early action here going on here in the macro. Top of the hour. Crazy manipulation higher, distribute lower. We've taken up both sides of this range here internally. Where do we go from here? Where, oh where, do we go from here? Where, oh where, Mr. Market? London and Asia absolutely wiped out on both sides. I'm on the NASDAQ. Where, oh where, Mr. Market? Wherefore art thou going?
Why? Mr. Market. Why?
Mr. Market. Mr. Market, why? Tyler, why would you ever be bullish? Ever.
And as for me, I like the stock.
As for me, I just like the stock. All right, 5-minute gap being tapped into here. Nice respect here, this 1-minute candle. Let's see if it holds. If we can start pushing lower, I like the idea of hopping in a short. Big if, though. Staying patient. Macro is over. You know what I'm saying, boys? The only thing I'm debating now is do I want to, do I just want to impulse entry? Or preferably wait for like a 1-minute change in the state, close below here. Just because we're outside the macro, I might wait for that. Set up a position that looks something like this. It's a big move. We'll see if we get it or not. I'm going to go ahead and delete these opening range gap quarter levels just to kind of clean up the chart a little bit. Not in anything yet. You're using Tradeovate with Tradeify and it's laggy. I'm logged into Tradeovate. You can see it. Oh, fuck, my thing's covering it. Yeah, I'm logged into Tradeovate right now on my trading view chart and everything seems fine. I'll pay more attention though. If I notice it's lagging, I'll let you know. The move lower was definitely the manipulation move higher, very possible. Yeah. One long taken so far for me. Nice reaction initially. Stopped at break even for anybody just hopping on. So one break even trade for me so far. We're up $10.56. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Down that red dirt road, it's where I drank my first beer. It's where I found Jesus, where I wrecked my first car. I tore it all to pieces. I learned the path to heaven is full of sinners and believers. I learned that happiness on earth ain't just for profitable day traders. I come to know there's life at both ends of these NASDAQ candles. Cheers. Wow, that macro ended and we just started snoozing, didn't we? You were good people. Hell yeah. 10,000. Wait. W 10,056? Your comma's throwing me off there, Ada. Or 1,056. You waiting for the Pelosi signal? Yeah, let us know. Let us know if Pelosi sends any signals. We could use that. Go back to sleep. Wait for Asia. Oh, guys, I did leg day yesterday. First time in 2025. Probably gonna be the last. No, I'm just joking. First one for 2025 though. I like to do like one leg day every 3 weeks. Yeah. Oh, so sore. Your boy's been getting after it in the gym. Your boy's been trying to make some gains, boys. Get a head start on the summer bod. Just trying to look good naked, you know? She's too drunk? It's Nancy Pelosi we're talking about here, not Kamala Harris. Come on now. I think Nancy's doing dry January. It's still January, right? Yeah. Good old Nance. Well, shit, I might go grab another cup of coffee if we're just going to sit here and chop around. I have no problem with this, though. Like, I would have been much... I'd prefer this than, you know, trying to, like... Let's say price just gives us, like, a tiny little change in the state of delivery here, and then, like, we enter, and then it just goes back into the range anyway. Like, I'd rather it do this, and then we avoid a loss than to, like, you know what I'm saying? Color outside the lines ever so gently, and then we get F'd, you know? This is fine. Let's see what we get. What we get. What we get. I just wonder if we're going to be waiting for the macro or if we're going to actually set something up here in this next 30 minutes. 'Tis the million-dollar question. You are a Lelek for skipping leg day? What is a Lelek? I don't know what that is. What do I got? What do I got to do leg day for at this point? Let's be honest. What am I training for? As long as I do them every now and then, you know? It's not like I'm sitting here playing semi-pro football or anything. Glutes are the new pecs. Well, yeah, well, that's a good thing that I got some cakes on the old girl. Come on. I had to put flashers on when I'm going in reverse. The donk, dude. Come on. The good Lord made sure that it bestowed such cakes on a good steward of the cakes in me. I do thank him for that. Very grateful. Now, does that mean that I should neglect the glutes? Obviously not. Obviously not. But, you know what I mean? I just like to give them what they need. I don't want to overdo it. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. I've never actually done the glute busters in the gym. You guys know what I'm talking about? Where like you lay down on the, sometimes it's a machine. Otherwise, some people will do like a barbell with like a little pad, and then they just do those hip raises. I call those glute busters. I've never done those. Yeah, I might go get another cup of coffee here, boys. I think I got time. Hang on, you guys don't go anywhere. I will be back in like as long as it takes me to pour a cup of Joe, all right? BRB. Don't you touch that dial. Don't you dare. I went out into the world and I came back in. I lost Mary, aka my coffee. Oh, but I got her back again. In trading these charts tonight, it feels like I found a long lost friend. It's where I hit my first stop loss. It's where I blew my combine account. Where I punched a hole through my first monitor. I tore it all to pieces. Oh, yeah. Well, I feel bad for anybody trying to chase this, honestly. Chase this or fade this, whatever way seems to be probably not feeling great. Happy with just sitting here waiting for something. I feel like this must be like what it felt like to be on the Titanic. Like after it sank, you're just sitting in the lifeboats waiting for that next macro ship to come get you. Can we sustain this? Come on. Can we sustain and displace? What do you got? That'd be awfully clean if you did. That'd be pretty clean if you did something like that for us, NASDAQ. Put a smile on my face. I don't know if I should keep this first presentation on my chart. I don't like it because it's just kind of sitting here in the middle, but we'll leave it on for good measure. First presentation, boys. First presentation. Come on. Top right.
Order, making it legal to call your friends fat.
Something nice and aesthetic like that for us. Dude, I kind of like this. What are we going to do here? 1 minute change in the state of delivery. Oh my god, I'm tempted, honestly. Oh, how many points is this? Oh. Alright, here's my one trade in between the macros. I think I might try this. I might try this long. Or I'd say I meant 5 minute change in state. My bad. Hang on, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm not in yet. You'll hear the order fill when I'm in. Yeah, come on, little devil you. Oh, you little devil you. What do you got?
Order filled.
All right, guys. This is going to be my one attempt not in a macro. Okay? One attempt not in a macro. I am in long right now. Bill's 593. Stops 550. You bitch. Immediately inverses the gap. Unreal. Immediately inverses the gap. Run that stop. Pluto, you dick. All this singing I've been doing for you. Yeah, it doesn't look good though. That's not good. I did not want to see that. I wanted to see like we maybe wick that gap and go. This was the thought process, obviously. 5 minute. That close right there. Thought maybe I could steal one. Fuck. I'm gonna let it hit my stop if it's gonna hit it though. Oh fuck, sorry. Not even showing you guys the right screen. This 5 minute close. There. We'll see. We got a chance if we form a swing low here and leave it. That's it though. Doesn't look great in the 1 minute. Great risk reward though. 432 risk, 1500 TP. Yeah, we're hitting the 1 minute BPR right now. Wicking out of it might be the death of me. We'll see. I needed to disrespect. Show the stop loss getting hit.
Order filled.
Yeah, shucks. That's what I get for trading outside the macros, dude. That's where I lose the most. Oh my god. Wrong. All right. Here we go. Finally some movement here at 10:30. Down 413. Nothing the boys can't handle. Nothing the boys can't handle. Wriggles, damn. I know. Fuck. Gosh darn it. Shoot! Jax, what you doing, buddy? What the fuck? Where do you live? The Hunger Games? The Hunger Games. Well, just like that. Wasn't patient long enough. Wasn't patient long enough. Just jumped the gun a little too early there. Literally the last minute or two of that 30-minute candle. This was a wick, boys. Especially with this 15. Oh man, son of a gun. I hate when it does that shit. My fault. Not looking to short though. No, I can be, yeah, but I'm not gonna short like right this second. What would it look like? I said I was only going to take one trade, not in a macro. So I had to immediately be going against what I told you guys. If I did do that. I don't always break my rules, but when I do, it's on stream. Bro, what? Oh, okay. ES hitting the 1 minute gap. Currently that I have marked out here on NQ. I'm wondering if this is going to get real heavy fast. NQ not hitting the gap. Haven't entered though. This is the only thing I'm not liking. Is the 15-minute opened up. Didn't realize I was showing you guys this screen the whole time. 15-minute opened up. We wick down, take this low, and now we're going back higher. So we manipulated at the beginning of this 15-minute candle. Now we're trading back up into the range, so that's why I'm not like just YOLOing into shorts here. My bad, I didn't know I was sharing the wrong screen. So one break even, one loss, minus 413 right now. Try to long, stop that break even. Tried 2 longs, I guess, actually, yeah. 2 longs, 1 break even, 1 loss. And now you can see we immediately inverse here. So it's like, I don't know, I'm just not. It's like I haven't seen this form clean enough for me to like confidently say I want a short yet. And I also am not confident to trade this inversion right now either. So I'm going to do what I failed to do on this setup here, and I'm just going to sit here and wait a little bit. A little bit more. See, that's what I'm thinking, Pluto. I don't know what it is, just something about it feels off. Probably because we're outside the macro right now. Doesn't mean it can't play. We got an SMT with this swing low here. It's not much, but it's there. But might, the way that this is shaping out now, this actually might set up a long coming into this following hour here. We will wait and see. Oh, man. I never did check the poll, though, hey. 50% of the chat is bullish. 27% bearish, 23% neutral. Gonna end that before people start changing their votes. That's right. Locked it in. Locked it in, kids. No changing your answers now. PD array mean premium and discount, yes. Yep. I think so. If it doesn't, then I thought it meant something else the whole time. You're going to trust the daily because it's higher. Okay. Four days completed. Oh my God, Pluto. I know the feeling. There's nothing worse than being like a day away from qualifying and then you just like lose 3 trades in a row. God. That's the worst. But that's like when you're most likely to go on tilt because you're like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm so close I can taste it. So then you try tilting yourself back to green, and then before you know it, your funded account ain't so funded anymore. Yeah, it's kind of like even with combines too. It's like if you're on a combine, I'm totally cool with being more risky, like in the first state, like the first half, and then like as you near the profit target, like throttling back the risk a little bit, right? Because I mean, in the beginning, it's like whatever, all bets are off. But once you get close, that's the worst. That's the worst is when you get so close and then you lose it. Man, that sucks. I've had plenty of combines where I get like within a couple $100 and then I, turn into a shell of myself, and all of a sudden I'm trying to force it, and next thing I know, the account's gone. I'm like, oh, sick. Hell yeah, brother. Guys will see this and say, hell yeah. Trump in 20? Trump's supposed to speak? You're lying. Trump is supposed to speak? Are you lying? Where do I see that? Where is a boy like me? What is a girl like you doing in a guy like me? Working on a 150K combine right now. For some reason, luck's been so bad with them. Yeah, you know what? For some reason, I also seem to mentally... There's definitely a mental difference for me as well, dealing with 50Ks versus 150Ks. I don't know if it's like... Maybe it's the P&L numbers. I don't know, actually. But I know what you're saying, if that helps. If you had to win 30 million from a lottery, would you stop trading? Just curious. No. I would not stop trading. No, sir. I would have a lot of money to put into a live account though. But even with that, like, I think people I just think people viewed trading so ass backwards, and I understand because I viewed it the same way when I first started trading. Like when I first started trading, I remember seeing somebody with a compound calculator, and they were showing like, oh, if you make 3, 4, 5, 6% a day trading, and you start with a small amount of money and you put it into a compound calculator and you do that over the course of like a year, 2, 3, 4 years, like it turns into like a small amount of money making a small percentage every day turns into such a huge number. So I feel like a lot of people, when they come into trading, they look at that and they're just like, oh my God, I can start with $1,000, $500, whatever it is. And if I make 3, 4% a day, then 2 years from now, I'm going to be so rich. My family's going to be set, man. And then anybody that's been trading for a year or two, like, you realize how so stupid that is to even like you would judge somebody if somebody came to you and they're like, yo, I just started trading. I'm going to make my goal is to make 3% every single day. Like, you would just laugh at them. Anybody that's been trading for a bit would just laugh. You'd be like, yeah, okay, you'll find out. So the way that like, so if I won $30 million, just to put this in perspective, maybe I would put like, I don't know, 500 grand into a trading account and trade it. I think what people don't understand is like trading. I really don't think trading is a tool that should be used to create wealth from being broke. I think it's just going to make people more broke. Now, prop firms do help with that, obviously, right? You can get an account. Let's say you get a 150K account, you pass it, you're $300 out the door to get activated into an XFA, and like, you've seen people turn that into crazy P&Ls. So I don't want to say it's not possible. Anything is possible in trading. That's the cool part. But just in terms of being realistic, it's like, well, bro, the reality is you should keep pursuing multiple streams of income, whether it's a business, your job, whatever. Like, you should keep trying to advance in these other areas and ways of making money, because it's just going to help with your trading. But you need money to make money. It is what it is. Whether it's trading, whether it's real estate, whether it's investing in the markets, like, you need money. Where does that money come from, right? Like, it's got to come from somewhere. So the reality is, you shouldn't bank on it coming from trading, is my point. But like, once you have a lot of money or enough money, you just have more options, and it allows you more freedom to trade freely and without the emotional stress of needing to pay your bills. And then it's funny how much easier trading becomes, because you're not living and dying so much with every single trade. But I think a lot of that kind of comes from like the scammy Forex gurus, right? Where it's like, hey, you broke SOBs. Sign up for my trading MLM, or sign up for my trading course or my trading mentorship, and I'm gonna take you from being broke to, realistically, they're gonna take you to being more broke, but they'll have you thinking that you're gonna become a 6-figure, 7-figure trader from nothing, while they're making fortunes off of your course fee. So I kind of think that's where that all stems from, but it's not reality. Like, trading is so risk heavy that it's like, you'd be silly to be putting all of your net worth and portfolio into trading, bro. Like, it's just not. You should have so many other eggs in so many other baskets first. I'm just being honest. You're just gonna lose money in the beginning. It is what it is. There's no way around it. If you're gonna be a day trader, you're gonna pay market tuition to start your trading career. It's just, I really don't think you're gonna. Anybody that says they've never blown an account, I just think they're full of shit. There's no way. Don't buy it. I don't believe it. I'm not saying it's impossible, but like, it's just so unlikely. Sounds like a skill issue. Exactly, yeah. It's a skill issue. That's fine. Do you make anything from live streaming? Flam tap boom? I mean, I get my stream is monetized, so I make a little bit from live streaming. I don't make much from live streaming. I think YouTube pays me, like, last month I got $185. It's kind of where it's been for the little while now, like a couple $100 a month from YouTube ad revenue. So it's not a lot. Might buy me like a week of groceries or something, but obviously I'm affiliated with Top Step, so obviously I do get a commission when people use my link and purchase a combine account with Top Step. So if you view that as like, yeah, you get paid for live streaming, you could say that, but otherwise, no. I mean, like, I don't have anything to sell. No courses, no mentorships, nothing. Full-time income from I mean, it's trading is supplement. It's not my biggest stream of income. Yeah, trading is supplemental for me. It is what it is. I think a lot of people want to sell the idea of being a full-time trader to the public, but the people that say that, they're always people that have something to sell you. Of course, a mentorship, a Discord, or all three. I don't know, dude. It's like, I appreciate you guys showing up, showing up to the stream, building the community in the chat, having some fun. Whether you think I am a good trader or a bad trader, that's your opinion. You're welcome to have whatever opinion you have. And at the end of the day, whether I make money on a trade or lose money on a trade, it doesn't affect you at all, right? Like, nothing really changes. And same with me. If I go watch someone else and they make money on a trade or lose money on a trade, my bank account doesn't change at all. Tyler sells ICT speeches. ICT is making me a lot of money through that ad revenue, boys. Hang on, I missed a lot of chats. Macro is starting, by the way. So I'm trying. As we near closer to the macro, I'm trying to look at the chart and focus a little bit more and anticipate something. But and let me see what I missed. Well, the thing with Forex scammers, Pluto, is like a lot of them obviously use MetaTrader, and they promote unregulated CFD brokers. Like I saw someone sent me a one of my buddies sent me a TikTok of TJR yesterday, and it was like a new video. He was like, I actually can't believe that guy is still promoting CFD brokers in 2025. He's promoting Hero FX. It's an unregulated offshore CFD Forex broker. Why does he promote it? Because he's an affiliate for that broker. He gets money off people's deposits. I mean, you can work out different deals with these Forex brokers and get commissions different ways, but I think for the most part, people get commissions one of two ways. They get commissions from people's deposits. So like if people put a lot of money in these brokers, they'll get a commission for those deposits, whatever the percentage is, and then there's like a commission per trade. So like per lot traded, they get a commission for that. So you know, they'll be like getting people to trade a lot, you know, whether it be through signals or whatever. I know people in my past that they did that. This is like before I really knew how deep the rabbit hole goes with like Forex scamming. But, you know, but they'd hook people up to bots, and they would just have this bot going nonstop. They're like placing hundreds of trades a day, like tiny little scalps. All because it was racking up the affiliate commissions associated with those CFD Forex brokers. Does that make sense? So, yeah, it's just not good, dude. And then, like, you got a lot of people that they'll put a lot of money in these accounts, and then, like, they wonder why they can't pull their profit out. Like, they'll put in money. Maybe they make some money. They flip an account. They get lucky, whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, the Forex broker says, "Oh, well, they let you withdraw a certain amount, maybe like above your deposit." So, like, let's say you put in 10K, they let you take out up to like 15 or 20K, and then they just freeze your shit. They just say, "All right, yep, you're good. We're locking your account up, and you can't get any more money out." That is so common in the CFD Forex space. Very, very, very common. And there's nothing you can do. It's unregulated. It's not like, congratulations, you put your money into an account somewhere in a remote island off of Madagascar, Africa. Like, what did you expect? So, I don't know. For that reason, I'm just very anti-CFD, anti-Forex world. Like, if you're going to trade Forex, use Forex.com, use Owanda, use something regulated in the United States. It's illegal to trade on CFDs anyway. You can't even... Just Google, is it illegal to trade CFD brokers in the United States? It's a yes. There's no gray area. It's yes.
No one's going to wait on the Defense Department, and we're working that in real time. But I also wanted to give an update on the tragedy that happened last night here in Washington, D.C., and provide a little bit more information as we are actively working to investigate and understand what occurred and why. At about 8:48 last night, a UH-60 assigned to the U.S. Army Aviation Brigade in the Military District of Washington, Fort Belvoir, Virginia, collided tragically with a civilian airliner. The unit involved, the Army unit involved, was Bravo Company 12th Aviation Battalion at Fort Belvoir. It was an annual proficiency training flight. And when we look at the crew, and not all kin have been notified, so we're going to withhold ranks and names at this point. We do know on our side who was involved. It was a fairly experienced crew, and that was doing a required annual night evaluation. They did have night vision goggles. The 12th Aviation Battalion, as of now, is granted a 48-hour operational pause on contingency missions as what happened is reviewed. and a senior level aviation team, an investigative team from our Aviation Safety Center, was deployed last night and already is in Washington, D.C. to investigate what's going on. We anticipate that the investigation will quickly be able to determine whether the aircraft was in the corridor and at the right altitude at the time of the incident. As I mentioned, next of kin notifications are ongoing. It's a tragedy, a horrible loss of life for those 64 souls on that civilian airliner, and of course, the 3 soldiers in that Black Hawk.
It's Trading View. You okay. I just like that I like the idea of also us rebalancing to this low here. Every time I change time frames, it's okay. You know what? Piss off, Trading View. You know what? I've had enough. Yeah. Just because I'm curious. No, never mind. Should have switched it first. You don't get the 10-minute chart on Top Step X. We did kiss that 5-minute gap, the bottom of the 5-minute gap. Because I'm only in a partial of my position right now, if this hits TP for me, I'm going to literally be up $150. I was waiting for a little higher pullback to add 4 more micros. Might still get it. Did I get stopped out? No. No, I'm in short. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for that gray zone that you see on my chart there to add more. I put in a partial of my position because just in case I could get something for it. In case it went from a lower PD array. But yeah, I do think we're drawing to 367 in all likelihood. And yeah, I guess the only thing to maybe keep an eye on, it looks like NQ would beat ES to those lows. That'd be about the only thing to worry about would be ES getting there first, maybe. So I'll put an alert on it just in case. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we'll see. This is all likelihood going to be the last trade of the morning for me. Getting a little later here. After 11 o'clock now. So, yeah, man. Interesting morning, though. Pretty interesting, I would say. I'll do a little pulse check here in the chat. Can I just set a limit here? I might just set a limit. Limit sell. see what 3 looks like once we get triggered in here. I don't wanna risk too much. But yeah, let me do a little pulse check, shall we? I don't want to risk too much and then end up like trying to be stingy with my stop loss, and then that ends up like I get stop hunted. That'd be the worst. Let me know, boys, how you guys doing so far today. Green, red, break even. I'm currently down $400 floating in this trade, obviously, at the moment. See how it shakes out. Yeah, if TP gets hit without me getting to add the rest to this position, then I'll still be green, but not by much. And for those of you guys looking at this saying this is negative RR, yes, for the moment it is, but my average fill will be higher if I get filled on the rest of this. And as of right now, I have my stop above this structure here. But in all likelihood, you know, the thought process is kind of that this should be breakaway. That makes sense. I don't know. I'm not trying to give you guys any optical illusions or lie to you. I'm just trying to give you my overall thought process on this. As best I can, boys. Why Michael got long today? Michael got long? My I have not. I am in the Telegram. I am in the Telegram. But I was thinking about leaving it this morning because I'm just kind of getting annoyed by all the notifications and I'm not really looking at it. Maybe I'll just mute it. But yeah, I got literally 30 unread messages. Sick. (9:04) 10:04 screenshot that returned to NDog. Oh. Hey guys, Michael says screenshot this. Return to NDog. Oh fuck. Sorry. Michael says screenshot this, return to the NDog, would you? Would you go ahead and just do that for me? Screenshot that, return to the NDog, please. Well, not for me, for Michael. Yeah, you guys can let me know. Maybe I'll listen to these later. I don't know. If he went long, though, I mean, I went long earlier. And I went long earlier. It got stopped. Once at break even, once for a loss. Yeah, dude. You can see why I got in a little bit, though. At least if nothing else, this tiny-ass little trade makes up for my loss. So I guess it could be worse. I did notice the other day, though, that, yeah, he said he... Because I listened to the messages before... I don't know if... Was that earlier this week? But, yeah, he said he wasn't going to trade pre-market, and then literally, like, 10 minutes later, posted a pre-market trade. Like, dude. I mean, that's it. That's literally ICT, though. That was what he did on Twitter, too. He'd say, I'm not going to do something, and then do it. I'm like... It'd be like me sitting here and being like, yeah, guys, I'm not going to short. I'm not going to enter a short. Or I just say I'm not gonna trade anything at all, and then I take a trade. And then I expect, and then I'm mad at you because you're like asking me why I did what I said I wasn't gonna do, but then I turn it, and I twist it, and I make it look like you're wrong. That's like what he does. the same thing this morning. Son of a gun. Yash, I'll go over my other trades at the end of the session here. Or you could always rewind the stream, but yeah, I'll kind of recap this session here once we're done with whatever happens here. But yeah, guys, I think I'll leave my position like this. I'll keep it above that 3-minute gap. Just because
Hey folks, it's Chad here with Airstream at Greensboro. I want to ask you a question. What could you do with 1,000 watts of solar and 920 amp hours of lithium battery? Or how about a 2,500 watt generator mounted underneath your Airstream? Today we're going to take a look at the dream build that we did back here behind us for one of my customers. And I'm going to go through some of the steps that we took to make sure this thing was perfect for him. Let's get started now. All right, folks, we're inside and we are gonna check out the dream build. Now, this is very similar to someone else on YouTube that makes YouTube videos and happens to own a Globetrotter, very similar to their build. Now, I will say we have done a few builds like this, not exactly like this one, but very similar to this one. This is a little bit different. We're using a new battery that I actually have personally in my camper and really like it for this build. But if you know who I'm talking about, you know. But I don't want to act like we didn't see that video and didn't utilize some of the information we learned from that video as well in doing this build. Now, this has, as I said, 1,000 watts up top. It's got 920 amp hours of lithium batteries. It has a 3,000 watt quadra inverter, and it also has a 2,500 watt own-in generator. That's all being controlled by the Victron Servo system. Now, this has just a massive amount of capacity. We did a few other things. There's a hitch on the back. We, of course, did the 3-inch lift kit. You have to do that to be able to do the generator. We also installed those nice, let me get that camera around, those really nice skylights that are much thicker than what you get from the factory. And there's also one there in the middle. So both of those got replaced as well. And I'm going to be installing, sorry to flip the camera around so much, this sensor here. This is a thermostat, also gives you humidity and a few other things, motion I think. And then we have the Malpica, I think is how you say these, tank sensors. All of this is going to connect into the Victron Servo, and he'll be able to see his tank levels and the temperature inside his camper from his Victron VRM app. I'm going to flip the camera back around. Now, let me just kind of show you a few things. I don't want this to be a super long video. If you want me to do like an in-depth video on why we did what we did and maybe some of the choices, let me know. We actually have a second build just like this one, but on a different floor plan that's in the shop right now and going through pretty much the same stuff is happening on that one. We're doing that too, and same thing. So this is a 2025 Flying Cloud. We ordered this from Airstream specifically for this build. So when I started talking to my customer, my client, I've very quickly discovered that he wanted to do this kind of build. Like he wanted a generator, he wanted power, he wanted to be able to use the air conditioner off-grid, be able to cool down the camper, and you stop at Harvest Hose, go out west and get into some of the deal. Like that came in the conversation. So I quickly was like, hey, well, here's what I would do. One, we can do that right here at Airstream in Greensboro. You don't necessarily have to go to another state or somewhere else. If you want to, not a problem. But if you would like for us to do it all here, we can. So we ordered this unit without solar.
This is charging to your stop loss. Thank you. I did not notice that. Checks YouTube live chat. Yeah, the chart's going up, Tyler. Thank you. I was not aware. Is that what? Oh, is that what the green? Is that what these green things mean? It's going up. Oh, that makes sense. Do I change my strategy? What do you mean? Do I change my strategy? I don't think so. My entry might be different sometimes. In terms of like, I might use an inversion or an order block, or just a regular fair value gap or a BPR. But no, I don't think so. And generally, I'm trying to frame a trade around the macro. My entry on this, remember my initial add, that's why my average looks pretty poor here. I added a partial position early to the lower PD around the 1 minute, and we reacted. Look at this. This was the initial reaction. So I was short up in here. About to get stopped out here.
Order filled.
Down 1,000. So, and then we had this initial reaction in profit here. Some maybe would argue that I should have removed risk at that point, I guess. I don't know. Fair. But, yeah, initial reaction was correct. We took out a new low. Show you this look at this 15-minute candle, bro. Holy fuck.
So just wanted to hop back on and give you guys a quick update here. It's just been, I don't know. Some people are probably making money here. I am down, small red on the day, and started with a long bias, headed to that new week opening gap on NQ, prior day high on ES. It looked like it was panning out exactly the way we wanted it, exactly what we said. Stopped short on NQ about 20 points from the final objective, and just completely reversed and slammed. At this point, you start to look for PDL. I mean, especially down here. I said that when we inverse the 1 hour gap here at 2000 hours from the 29th, I said when we inverse that, I'd be flipping bias, or at least entertaining a short bias. We run all the way down, but then here, look at this 15-minute candle here. I mean, get a big buy up. A couple guys I watch are stopped in that. So it's just super vindictive price action today again. And that is a little bit to be expected. We have earnings after the bell, Intel, Visa, Apple. And so usually when that happens, these are sort of cues to be a little bit more cautious, because the market's going to be waiting with bated breath, especially with Apple. They make up such a large sum of, ES for sure, and NASDAQ. So, and then, we've had some stuff. I think Trump's speaking maybe right now, and then he's going to, what did I see? He's going to be signing executive orders this afternoon. And he has talked about implementing tariffs before February 1st, and so that can potentially be a pretty high profile macro driver. So it's just a tough day. I'm glad I'm not down a whole lot. I honestly, I'm having a hard time abandoning my long bias here, although we are clearly driving for that PDL prior to this buy up. So here's my concern. When I bump out to the daily, is it the 4 hour? Let me bump out to the 4 hour here. Yeah, the 4 hour. Look at the 4 hour. It's just kind of this. It's definitely setting a range to me, and so I'm beginning to wonder like how much eagerness there is for follow through in any direction. And so it definitely has me skeptical on direction and where we want to end up. I mean, this is a great buy up right here as an example. I think the 15-minute closes. Yeah, in 1 minute this will inverse if it holds. So, you know, I'm having a hard time with targets. I'm having a hard time trusting any follow through. And so we'll see. But I would still like to see this move back higher, back to the, you know, we're 240 points from upside objective. That'd be a big day. But and ES is 44 points or so from its objective. So we're kind of wait and see mode. Just checking back in here, guys. Kind of same story, different page. In that it's really hard to figure out which direction it's wanting to go. It seems to me that we're heading back off higher to our original objective, but we're also flirting right around that 50 fib line. I think maybe we'll even tap that OTE. Yeah. Tap that OTE, and so really tough to know here. I think I'm going to take a stab long on the inversion of this 1 minute gap at noon. Seems like it could be a play, but really like to see the the tap of the CE, the 5 minute CE. Oh, there it is. First, and then a sharp move back higher. The move up needs to match the move down, ideally. So we'll be looking for that a little bit as well. It's also a pretty good manipulation setup, box setup looking thing. If you'll notice, sharp move back, sharp move down, about the same sharpness up. And then here we should get a little bit of a retrace before, if we are going to head off higher, before heading higher. So it's kind of what we're looking for. I wanted to get hung up here at the CE and then just rip higher through the gap. It will be relatively light with tight risk, and I will take it off at the relative high, at those equal highs. That's kind of my plan right now. So we'll see what it gives us.
buy, like the Blue Eddy, the Ecofo, the Anchor, all of those guys out there. Stick around because I'm going to show you how not to spend in that extra fancy battery to plug into your power station so that you have more power. And to show you that, I'm going to pull a couple things from over here right in front of me, and then we're going to talk about how I can save you that money. Stand by. Now, this is not a sponsored video, though, full disclosure, I didn't buy these components, and I'm not required to make this video for these two companies, just so you know. All right, let's talk. One of the things I see a lot lately is people buying portable power stations, like this one right here, and buying the manufacturer's add-on battery for those. And the first one I looked up to get some prices this morning, and I already knew basically what those prices were, but the first one I looked up, it was on sale for $4.99 and change, so basically $500. Now that battery was a 1,000 watt hour battery. The next company I looked at to get 2,000 watt hours was $1,000 for another one. And I thought, holy smokes, even at $500 to get 1,000 watt hours means $1,000 to get 2,000 watt hours. Well, guess what? This guy right here is a 2,560 watt hour battery. It's a 100 amp hour, 25.6 volt battery made by XDNY. Now, I've also done another video very similar to this one where I tested a similar setup to what I'm going to show you here. But for now, I want to show you this one because this one works brilliantly. But there are a couple things that I want to mention before I show it to you. The first thing is you need to know what your solar input is on your power station, what the maximum is, maximum voltage and maximum amperage. That's really important. If, for example, you have a power station with a maximum input voltage of 20 volts, then that is really designed for a 12 volt solar panel. For example, a 100 watt foldable solar panel is typically around 20 volts, 5 amps. That's 5 times 20 equals 100. And I have one here. This one here is a Jackery panel, and they work great. Most of those power stations are rated for those, the smaller ones, but the bigger ones are often rated for much higher power. This particular power station can take 50 volts coming in, actually 11,250. If you're going to try to plug in a 12 volt battery into a lot of those units, it's actually better to convert it to 24 volts, and you can do that with this guy. This is called a buck converter, and all it does is it takes 12 volts and it converts it to 24, and it will allow a 10 amp max supplies. Now the next thing you want to look at for your power supply is what kind of solar input does it have? Because if it has the DIN style or the 8mm type style like this, then you're going to have to get a cable to match that if it has a battery. So how do you do it? It's actually really simple, folks. On the AFRY, on the back side, there's a little door that flips up, and you've got your XT90. It says DC XT90 input, 11.5 to 50 volts, 500 watt max. So that would be 50 volts at 10 amps. Okay, so we take that, and all we do is we take this connector and plug it in right there. Did you hear that? Fan word up. Look at that. There's 500 watts coming in right now, and we are at 99%. So we're actually pulling just over 500 watts. Look at that, 511 I saw at one point. So we are literally charging up the power station with this battery. Now, you might say, well, yeah, but you're just charging it up. But you see, that's the beauty of this. I can plug something directly into this power station and run it right now, and it would work fine. Let's do it. Right behind you is the light that I'm using for filming. So let's get that light and plug it in here and see what happens. What happens, pull this over here, flip this up, stick that in, and turn that on. Let's see what happens, folks. All right, we're pulling 500. Oh, I got to turn the light back on now. There goes the light. We're still pulling 500 watts, and output is now 21 watts to run the light. Full charge time is 12 minutes, and we're actually running that light pulling over 20 watts. So what that means is that by plugging this in to the solar input, the unit, it doesn't care, it's dumb. All it knows is that it has 25.6 volts coming in. It can use 20 amps of that, and so it's going to use that to get that 500 watts of charging. And if this is full and I turn that light off, it'll stop doing anything. It'll just sit there with all that extra capacity right here. That's 2,560 watt hours of capacity that it can fully use before it touches the battery in the power station itself. And that's how that works. So you don't have to buy those really expensive batteries. I mean, they're fancy. Those companies make those really fancy. They put readout.
After the people in the media who lied about American citizens who helped Joe Biden rig the elections. We're going to come after you, whether it's criminally or civilly. Is that something you said?
That's a partial statement of what I said.
Steve Bannon's podcast. You also said you would put the entire fake news mafia press corps on your list. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
I don't have that in front of me.
Benny Johnson's podcast, 8/21/23. You have said that the FBI, including today, you said that they remain utterly corrupt. This is an agency with agents who have taken down terrorists, taken down bank robbers, taken down crime. And you wrote that the FBI has become so thoroughly compromised that it will remain a threat to the people unless drastic measures are taken. Do you know that under Chris Wray's leadership, he took over at a very difficult time, we all know that, appointed by President Trump, that during his tenure, the applications to the FBI has in fact tripled? Do you think people would be applying to that agency, like in those numbers, if they thought it was so corrupt?
The American public's trust in it is at 40%. That's an all-time low.
Did you say that the FBI headquarters should be shut down and reopened as a museum of the deep state?
Mr. Chairman, are we allowed to go an extra time?
Let's see. You get a second round. Before I call on Senator Lee.
Could he just answer the question if he said that the FBI headquarters, where they investigate cybercrime and terrorism, should be shut down and opened as a deep state?
Hey, Mr. Chair.
As a museum. Did he say that the headquarters should be shut down?
Mr. Chair.
I deserve an answer to that question. He is asking to be head of the FBI, and he said that their headquarters should be shut down.
Mr. Chair, parliamentary inquiry.
You got anything you want to say, Mr. Patel, before I go on to Senator Lee?
Simply this. If the best attacks on me are going to be false accusations and grotesque mischaracterizations, the only thing this body is doing is defeating the credibility of the men and women at the FBI. I stood with them here in this country. In every theater of war we have, I was on the ground in service of this nation. And any accusations leveled against me that I would somehow put political bias before the Constitution are grotesquely unfair. And I will have you reminded that I have been endorsed by over 300,000 law enforcement officers to become the next director of the FBI. Let's ask them.
Mr. Chairman, I am quoting his own words from September of 2024. It is his own words. It is not some conspiracy. It is what Mr. Patel actually said himself. Facts matter.
You forget that you had 3 minutes in the next round to say what you just said.
This is a Mac Studio, and this is the old Mac Mini, the one from last year with the M2. Chip, and this is the new one with the M4, and it is absolutely fantastic. So much so that I actually got another one which is currently Velcro to the back of my Apple Studio display, literally just stuck on the back here, turning this into my own kind of iMac. The reason I have two though is because this is the base spec. The cheapest one for $599, that's the same in pounds or dollars, which gets you the new M4 chip, 16 gigs of memory, and 256 storage. Whereas this guy has the higher spec M4 Pro, 48 gigabytes of memory, and also a terabyte of storage. So this is the higher spec one. And the big question for a lot of people will be, is it worth paying to go from the M4 to the M4 Pro? Also, how does it compare to the previous M2 Mac Mini? And also, I've got the absolute top spec Mac Studio here with the M2 Ultra, 192 gigabytes of memory and 8 terabytes of storage. This thing is an absolute beast. So I'm going to be comparing all four of these to see which is fastest and, well, which you should buy. I have to say though, I think this might just be my favorite new Apple product since they introduced the M1 chip in their Macs back in 2020. It's tiny, it's fast, it's actually really good value, especially as they now spec all Macs and MacBooks with 16 gigs of memory. Until now, you had to pay 200 quid extra to upgrade from 8 gigs, which I've always recommended people do. Now you can either use that money to double the storage, perhaps to 512, or since it's a desktop, you could just buy a terabyte SSD for £100 and plug it in the bag for all your bigger files and videos and work projects. Bear in mind though, for $599, this is all you're getting.
Order filled. Order filled.